Big-time implications on the tail end of a Thursday nighter. Big result for the Rams, who improved to 8-7, above 500 for the first time since Week 1. The Saints, meantime, slide to 7-8. The win would have momentarily moved them into that 4 seed. There is a meeting with the Buccaneers coming up in Week 17 that will tell a tale that will last a long time. But following this one, plain and simple to see, the Rams heading in the right direction. Here to break down the playoff picture in depth, we welcome in John Breach on that front. Emery Hunt offering his thoughts as well. Gentlemen, let's just sort of come at this from the side of what we do know. Still plenty of football out in front of us, and these percentages will change. The Sportsline projections updating with each result. But right now, the Rams take a big step forward. The Saints take quite a sizable step back. Breach, I'm going to come your way first here. What does this win specifically do for LA at this juncture?
Well, if you're the Los Angeles Rams, you feel a lot better than you did going into your Week 10 bye when it looked like your season was over and you could start planning for the draft. We're looking at this team now has a 65% chance of getting in the playoffs. And when you look at where they are currently, the 6th seed, it makes a lot of sense that they would feel good about their postseason chances right now. If you look at the first 2 teams out in the NFC right now, that's the Seahawks at number 8 and the Saints at number 9. Well, guess what? The Rams have the head-to-head sweep against Seattle. They now have the head-to-head tiebreaker over New Orleans. So that is a very good thing if you are the Rams. And then you look at the rest of your schedule. You know that if you win your last 2 games, you are definitely in no matter what else happens. You have the Giants in Week 17, where you will be likely a substantial favorite. And then in Week 18, you have a 49ers team that could already have the number 1 seed clinched. And if that happens, that's another game the Rams could win. So I think if you are the Rams, you feel very good about your postseason chances right now.
Yeah, this is the team in the Rams that is starting to get that vaunted tag of the team that no one wants to play moving forward, right? And so with this win tonight against New Orleans, it puts them in a good spot at number 6 because potentially how I see this thing playing out, maybe we get the Seahawks at number 7, but now you're a 6 seed, you're playing a 3 seed. That puts them right now against the Detroit Lions. This is a matchup that I like the Rams in. And then if you kind of project forward, they also get another shot potentially at San Francisco in the 2nd round. So if you're the Rams, you're feeling good about yourself. Common matchup. John talked about it. They already beaten the Saints. They've beaten the Seahawks. And we'll see if they can beat San Francisco. But how great would it be to see them get another shot at San Francisco in the postseason?
Yeah, interesting what may happen in that matchup with San Francisco in Week 18. Does Kyle Shanahan want 2 weeks off for his big boppers as they are getting closer and closer to that all-elusive bye? On the other side of this one, massive loss for the Saints. But when you look at that schedule, John, all is not lost just yet. You got a couple divisional games coming up, a head-to-head with the Bucs that'll help. And then if we do get further down the line of tiebreakers in the division, a pair of divisional games. Should we hold off on panicking? I mean, panic maybe serves you well in this situation. A little bit of urgency goes a long way for the New Orleans Saints. But coming off this loss, are you getting the red Sharpie out? You getting ready to scratch off a name here in the Saints?
Hey, look, Joe, I know they can still make the playoffs, but if I'm a Saints fan, I am in full panic mode right now. I do not like the way the rest of the schedule breaks down. I don't like where I am in the standings. And when you look at these other NFC wildcard contenders, the Saints have already played the Packers. They lost. The Saints have already played the Vikings. They lost to Minnesota. We just saw them lose to the Rams on Thursday night. They've lost their only meeting so far with the Falcons this year, if you go a little further down the NFC standings. So they don't have a head-to-head against anyone. And then you look at the division. Hey, maybe if they can beat the Buccaneers in Week 17, all of a sudden you are very much alive again. But right now, they don't hold the tiebreaker over the Buccaneers. So you don't really feel good about anything if you're New Orleans. You're going to need a few things to break your way. And based on how that team's luck has been going, I would not feel comfortable with that at all.
Yeah, find me the 60-minute game they've played all season long and ask me again if they have any chance of getting to the postseason. It's not going to happen for New Orleans. And listen, when you think about where they were having success throughout the course of the season, they were able to count on their defense turn the ball over. And if you're depending on turnovers, you're not playing great team defense, and that also means that your offense is not doing a great job as well. And that's the other issue. They can't run the ball because teams don't respect their ability to throw the football, and they don't respect their ability to pass protect for Derek Carr, and they also don't respect Carr's ability to get the ball out on time. So all of that said, these next 2 games, doesn't mean a thing to me.
Hey, I'm merely an arbiter of hope, and the percentage chance does not say 0 just yet, so we will hold off on the red Sharpie to this point. We are just getting started here in Week 16. Again, these numbers can change based off of results. What is the biggest result you're looking for in Week 16, John Breach? The game that you have circled like, I know it's the holidays, but not right now, honey.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I'm already circling the Christmas night game, 49ers-Ravens, but both those teams are already in the playoffs. So for me, that's not the playoff implication game. You have Cowboys-Dolphins, but the Cowboys are already in the playoffs. The game I am fascinated to watch, the game I feel like has the most playoff implications, is Jacksonville-Tampa Bay. We just talked about New Orleans. If the Buccaneers lose, the Saints, they're going to shoot back to life because now Tampa Bay's 7-8, and now next week's game almost becomes a division title on the line. And then if you look at Jacksonville, they're in a three-way tie in the AFC South with Houston and Indianapolis. They probably aren't going to have Trevor Lawrence. So now you're in a situation where you have to win with your backup quarterback just to stay alive in the AFC South. This was a team that was 8-3 at the beginning of December. Looked like they were going to coast to the AFC South title. And now they might choke it away. So I like Buccaneers, Jags on Sunday as my must-see game as far as playoff implications and the things that could reverberate around the NFL the most.
Man, Breeze, that's a great one because think about it. That game and the game I like here, the Browns and Texans, if the Texans are able to upset the Cleveland Browns, man, that puts them in play for the first spot in the AFC South, along with whatever the Colts do. But this is a Browns team that's going for their 10th win of the season, which has been impressive to see down the stretch. And the Houston team that found a way to galvanize around Case Keenum, got that win in Tennessee. And if they can get this win here, it puts them back into the playoff picture because there's going to be a team in the AFC North that's going to probably slide themselves out, i.e. Pittsburgh. So I feel like this is a situation where Houston can get themselves back in. But this is a huge game because C.J. Stroud looks like he's trending toward not playing again. Back-to-back games. Can you trust Case Keenum to put together 2 straight impressive performances in what has become essentially playoff elimination games? We'll find out, but that's a game I'm excited to see.
Our friend and yours, Charles Davis, will be on the call in that one, also paying a visit on Game Day Scoreboard when they hit zeros. Can't miss stuff always from CD. Gentlemen, before I let you go here, I want to bring it back to the here and now, this matchup that we saw between the Rams and the Saints, because you alluded to it. It's that pesky team nobody wants to see, but that is real in some cases, and that is led to Lombardis in certain cases in decades past. I'm not going to ask you how real the Rams are right now, but at their fullest form, is this an offense we know, yes, but a defense that can match up when you project them against the rest of the conference in the postseason?
That's a great question because that's where the biggest concern lies for the Rams. How deep are they defensively? Can they consistently get pressure against the teams that they're going to see in the NFC picture? You talk about your Jalen Hurts, your Dak Prescott, your Brock Purdy's, and his assortment of players that can take the ball a short pass and go a long way, or just take the ball in the handoff and go a long way as well. So you worry about their defense long term, especially at the first 2 levels of that defense. That's the biggest question. That's the Achilles heel. But in order to protect your defense, you got to stop them from scoring. So we could see a shootout like we saw in Baltimore with the Rams, and that's their best chance to really get through a very tough NFC.
I'll tell you this, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception over a 5-game span will work in any crucible at any time of the season, and it's happening at the right time for Matthew Stafford. Gentlemen, great stuff as always. Here's one more look at that playoff picture as Week 16 is here, and oh, there's high-stakes football to be played. Niners, they've wrapped up all but the bye in that first overall seed. Cowboys and Eagles, 10-4 aside. You know, if both of those teams win out, the division, by way of the 5th tiebreaker, will in fact go to the Birds. The Cowboys relegated to that wild card and the 5 seed, which could mean a meeting with the Buccaneers. The Saints holding out hope. The Falcons, I mean, a lot needs to happen, but it's all taking shape over the next 3 weeks.